So one of the issues of doing a shower on a concrete slab that you'll run into is that your drain pipe is always going to be below grade, meaning your P-trap. So I already know the P-trap is about 10 inches below that. It starts to curve, and so it's curving up toward where the drain goes out of the house. And so what they've done here in the past anyway was, if there was an original home builder who put this in 10 years ago, and they were trying to put in a tub shower combo, from 2-inch they made the transition to 1.5 inch, which was convoluted a little bit because this is the original where the tub was, and there's where the drain is. So they had put a couple of 45s and 90s and all that stuff and finagled it up over in this area. And then they made the big mistake of burying it in concrete. When you put a tub in, you're not supposed to bury it in concrete. In fact, the home builder usually builds a little box here. Home builder, the builder who builds a house will build in a little formed box area, and you'll just be seeing dirt within that boxed area where the pipe is. So it makes it easy for the next guy to come along and manipulate the pipe if he needs to. In this case, they didn't do that. They went ahead and just dumped a bunch of concrete in there once the pipe was up out of the floor. And so that made it very difficult. So inevitably what you have to do is get a jackhammer, which I had to do, get a jackhammer all this concrete out so that you can get to the pipe. And at that point the pipe is sticking up too high. So when it sticks up too high like that, the best you can do is dig out around the pipe as much as possible, and then you have to be able to cut the pipe so you can retroactively then put in the drain that you need, and in this case for a shower. And the shower drain should be center with the pipe that we're currently using, although this will go away because it's going to be a shower instead of a tub, but it needs to be kind of be in line with that, which is not currently. So the only way to cut that pipe straight and not have any issues with it is an inside pipe cutter. So it looks like a little cowboy spur. It's very small, about the size of a $50, not quite, somewhere between a $50 and about $1/4. Goes on a drill, and then has the little extension, about 3-inch extension on it, and you put it down inside of the drain exactly where you want to cut, and then you make your cut going around, and it'll take off that much pipe that you cut out. I had to do that twice to get down to that point here, because every configuration I came up with to plumb in the new drain wasn't working. It was too high, and I would have had to put a bunch more concrete in here to be level with my flange. My eventual flange should sit on top of the curb, on top of the floor. Hold on a second. So this will be the shower drain flange, and it should be flush with the floor. In order to get it flush with the floor, you have to do a couple of 90s, and the 90s really won't work unless you do some type of reconfiguration, for lack of a better term, with the plumbing. So this is a 2-inch drain, and we have a 2-inch flange here. So theoretically you do a 90 over here, bring out a section of pipe going up to the drain, put another 90, and then come up with it. So that really hasn't worked out too well. Still has too much height, which would require pouring some concrete. So these flanges on the inside, or the inside connector here for the pipe, is on the inside, and this is where you would glue your pipe into. On the outside here there's a 3-inch hub, and this 3-inch is exactly a 3-inch for something like this, which is a 3-inch pipe, and that fits literally right on top of there, snugs right in, and can be glued. Then we have back here, this is a 2-inch that we actually need, and by virtue of this hub, this is kind of a reducing hub, and it fits into the 3-inch end of this 90, and then you can put your 2-inch pipe in here, and there is another 90. So that 90 would go on here. This configuration would slide into there and get glued in. And then, voila, you are level with the concrete. By the time that glues in, it'll come down a little bit more, another 1/4 inch or so, and then you're flush with the concrete. And so this is a configuration that you can come up with in order for this drain to fit in here. The fact that it's a 3-inch opening, you know, for this part of this elbow really doesn't matter. What matters is that you eventually go into this 2-inch drain. So any way you can work it out works, and then eventually, because it's going to be a shower and not ever going back to a tub again, this whole area, once it's glued and dried, gets filled in with concrete. You have a flat surface, you have a flat drain going on, and then you can start doing your shower pan liner and pour your pan, and the drain matches up with the pipe here. So another 1/4 inch moving over, and it lines up perfectly. So there you go. That's how to do the concrete drain when you don't have any other choice. This is not ideal. Ideally, you want to use a 90 straight piece, another 90 coming up, but we couldn't do it here.